Merry meet everyone! You're now watching my pagan life once again, and do you recognize this box? This is my life lesson box, and I've done a video on this where I picked out 8 random life lessons and read them to you guys. And since I thought it was a pretty fun video idea, and since I haven't done it in a few months, I have decided that I'm now going to make a part 2. So as the famous comedy shorts gamer said once, without further ado or ado further, let's open the life lesson box and pick out some random ones. This one is somewhat deep. There is no denying that life is harsh, cruel, and unfair most of the time, but your attitude and actions will, to a high extent, determine how your life turns out. I have one important tip for you guys, and that is that if you want to live a good life, you should strive to do the right things, act and treat people with respect, be kind, or act a certain way, because what you put out into the universe will come back to you some way or another. And I'm not even referring to the threefold law. What impression you make on other people and how other people perceive you is very important. I mean, don't get too stressed, because otherwise you'll just stress yourself out. But if you want to gain respect, if you want to gain happiness, if you want to gain whatever it is positive you want to gain, you kind of have to display that. I could go on rabbling about that, but I'll just leave it at that because we shouldn't make it more difficult for ourselves than it already is. Time for the next life lesson, which is... ooh, this one is actually really deep. Don't fear death, nor yearn for it. Live life in the moment. If there is anything we know for sure, it's that death will befall us all someday. I have been depressed before, just like many others have been, or still are. When I was depressed, I reached the point that I was starting to think about death. I was starting to it was like, the best thing for me now is just to die. And I think many people can relate to that feeling. But as soon as I managed to battle depression and I got out of that freaking hell, because that's what depression is, I started to appreciate life, and I started thinking, you know what? I'm gonna miss so much in the life that I'm living right now if I die. So to assure that I get to experience all the wonderful things, I'm gonna live life right in the moment, because guess what? We are all gonna die someday. There is no point in yearning for it to happen sooner. Because whether you go to heaven, or you go to the Summerlands, or you're being reincarnated, or you're simply just dying and becoming, soil, death is gonna befall us all. It's gonna happen, and what's gonna happen will happen. And life does not last forever, so live life in the moment. It's the most precious thing you have. Life lesson number 3. Never be ignorant. Don't judge or preach things that you don't know anything about. You're not a god! Well, okay. I think we can move on to the next one. I think we've got the point. Don't be afraid to share with others. People will appreciate you for your generosity. This is the life lesson that I learned from my mother, actually. For about 2 years ago, the first ever season of a brand new Norwegian reality TV show was broadcasted on TV. This was a TV series where they took 14 Norwegians from all across Norway, and they had placed them in a specific place in Norway. And they were challenged to live their life as they lived in the 1700s. So I started watching it, and it was the most brilliant reality TV series I have ever seen. And it goes by the name Anno. Earlier this year, season 2 was broadcasted on television, and there was this, one of the 14 people was a very old man, about, 50 or 60 years old. All the other players were they were typical cliches, there were specific personality types. Most of the people were that. But this particular man was a very helpful, very kind man, and no matter what, he would always help, and he would always be there, even though he wasn't asked to work. He would work, and so on and so forth. He is of a generation of people who are used to work, if you understand what I mean. And one thing that he would always do was he was never afraid to share any information that he gained on his way through the game. And you know what the funniest thing is? He ended up winning the entire season because he had helped. He had gained the respect, the trust, and the kindness of all the other players. Everyone loved him, and they saw him as their father, almost. He was always very generous, and he always shared what he knew with the others. And I have a tendency to be like, oh, I know this skill now. Oh my god, I cannot teach it to anybody else, or they will also know it. But then my mother said to me, Maya, don't be afraid to share what you know with others. People are gonna appreciate it so much. And I started realizing, yeah, that makes sense. Do not be afraid to share with other people. It's probably gonna be one of the best things you've ever done. Next life lesson is focus outward. Focusing on yourself all the time is gonna make you sick. One thing that I've very often struggled with is anxiety, and the problem with anxiety is that you focus inward. You focus so much on yourself that you're going crazy. And something I was always told by the adults around me was, learn to focus outward. Don't focus too much on yourself, focus outward. And that's also why I'm actually skeptic to Satanism. It's because Satanism is considered a left-hand path that only focuses on spiritual growth, or actually growth of oneself and gaining what you yourself want, and just it's all on you. Wicca is something between a right hand and a left hand path. If it hadn't been for me learning to focus outward, I wouldn't have been here today. Not that I would have been dead, but I would have been gone completely mad. This is a life tip. Happiness recipe: family, friends, cats, food, sleep, and cats again. That's all you need to gain happiness. Family, friends, cats, food, sleep, and guess what? More cats! Come on, admit it, cats are the best. Next life lesson is life is too short to be anything but happy. Most of us know that being happy all the time is technically impossible, and we must learn to handle and to tackle life's difficulties and hardships and so on and so forth. But if you constantly focus on the negative, your life is gonna be shit. The longer I live on this earth, the more I start to realize how quickly time is passing by. So sometimes try to live as if you're gonna die tomorrow, because quite frankly, you never know when the end's near, and you deserve to be happy. Let's see if we can manage to end this on a positive note. This is by far one of the most important life lessons I have in this box, guys. Most important of all, love yourself regardless. It's a fact. You can't love others if you don't love yourself. You can't love life if you don't love yourself. Or maybe you can. I'm not actually that sure. My point is that if you never learn to love yourself, well then, what is the point? You're gonna live a life not loving yourself? Nah, wait, stop. I'm not gonna allow that. You're gonna love yourself, you're gonna train, you're gonna exercise that part of your brain that allows you to love yourself, okay? Just think about it. What makes you so awesome? What makes you so fantastic? What makes you you? Yeah, you right there, yeah, you. I'm looking at you. I'm looking right at you. You don't dare say that you don't love yourself. You don't dare say that you're not awesome. You don't dare say that you're not fantastic. Because guess what? You are. I do not tolerate bullshit. You're awesome. Everyone deserves to be awesome. Oh wait, no, not everyone deserves to be awesome. We already are awesome. You know what? The truth is that learning to love yourself is the happiness recipe, because you are who you are, and coming to accept who you are and loving who you are is the best feeling ever. As soon as you have found that treasure lying deep within the depths of your heart, well, then you've found the answer to almost everything. By the way, guys, I just want to say one thing, and that is that this is probably going to be one of my last videos with this iPad. The summer vacation will be consisting of vlogs, but after that I will have gotten a new iPad so that I can keep on recording videos on my iPad. You know what to do if you want to support this video, and you know what to do if you want to support this channel. Like, comment, share with your friends, and subscribe for new videos every week. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching once again, and blessed be from my pagan life.